all. And I think that her addictions stem from some deep-rooted, uh, well, there was some abuse somewhere, but there's some deep-rooted issues that she's not dealing with and hasn't dealt with. She drinks, and that's been her escape. Well, now she can't, so now she's going to have to deal with herself. I mean, God love her. I don't. I hate when something happens like this, but I also feel like, actually, to be honest with you, can I tell you something, David? It
Please be
pisses me off.
honest.
It pisses me off because I have a daughter who passed away, who was an alcoholic. She didn't die in a car wreck, but it pisses me off. Like, that's why I moved my daughter out of my home knowing she had an issue, is because I knew that if somebody can't get help like that, they're going to end up hurting themselves or killing somebody else. So it kind of pisses me off that she did that, but I also feel love for her because I know that her issues are deeper than the whatever she's drinking, deeper than the alcohol. And I do think she'll come out a better person. I think she's eating crow, as my grandmother used to say. She's going to have to face this now she can't, put a band-aid on it and pretend like it doesn't exist. Best thing that could have happened for her or to her.
I'm sorry to hear about your daughter.
That's okay.
I've been pretty hard on her myself. Her deep-seated issues, she has said, and look, I'm not judging grief, right? Because
Right. Right.
it's,
Absolutely don't.
she is 61, and, her grief is because, well, she said with all this that, now, mind you, the first two DUIs were before this happened. So this can't even be an excuse. Like, she lost one of her parents, I think, in 2017, and the other one in 2018. Again, I'm not judging grief. We all handle it differently. But to me, I personally have no, like, again, it's a natural progression of the world that you lose your parents. Not
Right.
easy to deal with. It takes, I'm not putting it, but 2017, it's 2025. Like, give me a fucking break.
Well, and I'm with you on that. I mean, grief is a hard thing to overcome. No matter who it is, right? If you lose, if a friend would, you would be grateful, but addicts like her, they will use whatever excuse they need to use to make their actions to where people have empathy and sympathy for them. So for me, when somebody comes to me and they're in active addiction, or they have somebody who is in active addiction, spiritually speaking, I say wipe yourself clean from that. If you can't, it is destructive. It is a destructive pattern. She is I'm sure she misses her parents, but that is not the reason why she drinks and drives. I mean, if that was the case, then call a buddy and have them come sit with you in your apartment and drink all you freaking want to. Don't get behind a car. And because a car, as Dr. Phil says, I love Dr. Phil, vehicles are a missile going down the road. And if, so I have no empathy for the drinking. I have empathy for the pain that she feels.
Right.
So, but it's deeper than that. It's not the loss of the parents, although I know it's hard. It's not that. It is the fact that she does have some pain. She does have some abuse somewhere in her energy, but she's also spoiled and she was able to get away with it. So, clue to anybody out there, stop giving people third and fourth chances. Give them one chance. If they do it again, get them help. And then if they do it again, throw them in jail.
Yeah.
Simple.
I mean, we talked, I think, about, I never can remember because I talked to Psychic Leona and we've had other psychics on. So I think I
Right.
talked with you, that's what's going on with like Kyle Richards and her sister, Kathy Hilton. Like, they have a sister, Kim Richards, and they have just, they're done. Like, they won't just, I mean, mind you, these women that I just mentioned are in their 60s and 50s and they're
Right.
just done. They're like, we just can't do it anymore. Like, we have turned our backs on our sister because right. We've had so much pain. Like, we literally can't help her unless she wants to
Right.
get help.
Right.
So that's where they ended up. Do you see, because look, I'm a lawyer. I don't even know if you know this. I don't practice anymore, but jail is really, it's one to punish you for the crime. It should fit,
Right.
like, do the crime, do the time. But that's how some people get 6 months, some people get 10, 20 years. Like, it's based on the crime. That's how there's a
Right.
formula. But also jail is based on the amount of time you're there to rehabilitate you. Her sentence of 2 years is only 1 year in jail and 1 year out, still sentenced, but out, like at home. So let's just talk about the year in jail, which she's already serving. Like, do you get the sense, like, where is she? Like, because jail doesn't rehabilitate everyone. A lot of people come
No, it
out
doesn't.
a changed person, and a lot just come out and are like, I fooled that. I know people that have gone to jail, and I know I have one good friend who has come out completely changed, like, gets
Yeah,
it. And I know other people that are like, oh, honey, I know
right.
what to tell them to get out early. Like, where do you see Karen? Like, is she, to your point, like, this saved her life? Great. Like, is she gonna really use this time and get it?
Okay, so an alcoholic's brain is different than somebody who's not drinking. It takes at least a year for the alcohol or the brain chemistry to balance out, right? The only reason I know this is because I talked to the coroner over my daughter. Um, I do think that she's going to try to fool the system at first. I think that she has a little bit of a holier than thou attitude. Well, right now, I mean, she's probably been beat down, so she might not be thinking that, but her ego is bigger than her um, real self, real life self. And so she's going to have a very hard time in the beginning. Like you said, I guess she's going through that now because she's already in. But I give her about 4 months, 4 or 5 months until she starts to really her brain starts to the fog kind of goes away a little bit, and she starts to utilize some of the programs within the system that she where she can start to try to heal a little bit. When she comes out, she's going to isolate for sure. Um, but and I see her continuing on, not saying she won't fall off the wagon a time or two because she probably will. That seems to be in her personality type, but her guides are saying that she will really try. And I feel like she may gain some trust back from some of the people that where she had lost it. So that I just think it's going to be good for her.
You
Let's just pray
do.
that after the fact, after I don't know what it's called, probation, parole, whatever it is, once she comes out, I'm hoping she continues that. I, I would highly suggest her not be in the spotlight for a couple of years after. I mean, I think that would help, but it's not my call.
Because that's the thing, like you're in there for a year, then the second year is not probation. The second year is the sentence. You're home. But I mean, if you don't do all the things that you have to do at every minute during that year, you will be thrown back in jail. Like, that's where I think it's going to be harder. Like, do you get it, because you're going to have the world around you. Yes, she's going to have to blow into a breathalyzer or the car won't start.
Right,
But you still, I mean, there's more temptations when you're literally at home with your husband and your
right.
life.
I don't. I mean, let me just double check her.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I think she's going to fall off the wagon a couple of times once she gets out. Um, However, I don't see her going back after this. Like, I don't think she's going to break her uh, contract or whatever with the state and have to go back. I do think that